Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the 1996 IGA Grand Street Parade of the South Shore Exhibition. I'm Les Stoodley from Rockin' Country CKBW. Joining me is Jim Wally, and we're going to be describing the action and the floats that are coming up the street right now. Our location is on Dufferin Street, and we're just in front of the entrance to the exhibition where all of the floats will be turning, and we'll have a good opportunity to have a look at them. Jim, you've been involved in this parade before, and this is nothing new to you. In the past, there's been tremendous participation.
Oh, yes. It's just amazing how many people turn out for this, not only from Bridgewater, but from all over Lunenburg County and other parts of the province, as well as outside visitors. So this parade gets watched on a television program like this many, many times by many people. Of course, it's important to realize a lot of people who are in the parade don't see it, and this is the only way they see it is on this program.
Exactly. And the town criers have already started to make their appearance, and you can see them now as they come up, being led, of course, by the police car. And it's going to be interesting. The color guard right behind them as they come into your camera. There's Ozzie Stiles, the town crier for the town of Bridgewater, and Ozzie will be in his element. Here he goes.
Okay. Welcome to this, the 105th South Shore Exhibition and Parade, sponsored by your local IGA stores. May you all have a good parade and a good exhibition. God save and Queen. My fellow town criers will bring a message.
Ozzie Stiles, the town crier for Bridgewater, welcoming everyone to the IGA Grand Street Parade. The Canadian Legion Color Guard passing by and having the flags of the various branches. The Canadian flags, of course, very much in prominence as well.
Very sharp looking.
Oh, indeed, as they make the turn into the exhibition grounds. And of course, the Legion very much an integral part of all of Lunenburg County. And here comes the Canadian Legion float, Branch 24 Bridgewater, with one of the people wearing a uniform from the First World War, and the auxiliary on the float, of course, and waving as they go by.
And honoring veterans programs in particular. Now here comes the sound of a band.
Indeed, and I take it this is the Bridgewater Firemen's Band.
It is indeed.
They've been known to put on a concert or two over the last few years as they go by, and keeping step to the rhythm of the snare drum. And right behind them, of course, the Bridgewater Fire Department, bedecked in their dress uniforms for this occasion, as they always are. And behind them, you'll see the fire trucks as they come into your picture in just a matter of seconds. Well represented, the Bridgewater Volunteer Fire Department in prominence at the street parade. We have representatives from Riverport too, I notice, so all of the
very big feature for all, especially it seems little boys and girls, the big red trucks of the fire departments, and usually here from many parts of the county.
And it gets the attention of the kids, there's no question about that. And
some of the adults too.
Of course, yes. And there's the ladder truck that was used a few weeks ago, as a matter of fact, in that unfortunate fire in Liverpool.
Yes, and on happier times, shoots water off the new bridge.
Yeah, 85 feet of ladder right there. And there's the float of the Bridgewater Volunteer Fire Department coming into view. And they're asking people to please use a thermostatically controlled deep fryer. Easy for me to say, as they give us a wave. And there are the Percherons, looking great. The 4-H World to Explore.
And what a wagon.
Oh, isn't that terrific?
Wiles Percherons in Bridgewater.
Right. Beautiful pair of horses and a beautiful wagon and of course the 4-H members on the wagon.
And here's the VON float.
Okay, Caring for Life, VON of Canada, another organization that's very much a part of the community in Lunenburg County as they go by. And of course,
we can hope that the VON gets lots of continuing support as the changes in the hospital field go on and home care is more and more important.
Exactly. And of course there will be literally dozens of commercial floats in today's parade. Lange Blasting Service and Consulting Limited, they're going by with some marble there, Jim.
That's a heavy load now.
Yeah, you want to believe it's a heavy load. And some granite being displayed there. The first of the commercial floats that we've seen in this year's parade. And it may be a balmy summer's evening, but we're already talking about snowmobiles, the Crossburn Snowmobile Club. And
nice little tracked vehicle.
yeah, that'd get you through in some pretty heavy snow from New Ross.
And some traditional snowmobiles.
Yes, and the traditionals in the back, of course. I wouldn't want to be in a snowmobile suit this evening, though. The temperature about 25 degrees as we went to air.
I think we have some cowgirl line dancers.
We do indeed, and there they are, the Mustang Lone Stars. The line dancers, of course, will be performing later this evening.
And aren't they happy, giving a big wave to the crowd?
They are indeed. And we'll be seeing them at the X as they give us a wave. And, of course, they're sponsored by Mosier Motors.
Here's Zink's Auto Salvage.
Yes, and
nice old car they've salvaged there.
That's in the late 50s, Jim.
Yes, it is.
And I believe it's an Oldsmobile.
About a 58, I would think.
I think so.
Ah, here's a Highland group.
Ah, and you got to have the bagpipes when you have a parade. Let's listen. These are the Dunvegan pipes and drums from Westville. Right behind them, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in their scarlet uniforms and their flag, and looking extremely sharp. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police with a good contingent.
Well, they've turned out a wonderful group.
Hey,
today.
25 of them in the parade this year, all bedecked in their scarlet.
Now here comes a representative of the official parade sponsor this year, IGA.
Boland's Limited and IGA, all of the IGA stores in Lunenburg County. I was talking with Mike Blanchard this afternoon, and he told me that all of the IGA stores in the county would be represented, indeed down into Shelburne and Queens County as well. And they're going by, they're on the
beautiful float.
And there they are. Mike with the hat, looking terrific. Okay. Hometown Proud IGA stores sponsoring this year's Grand Street Parade at the Big X in Bridgewater. Here's another antique.
Oh, more vintage cars.
Indeed. Yes. Looking terrific. And that one will take you back to your youth if you're over 50. Look at these two beautiful old antique cars. A Chev Impala of the late 50s vintage. Looking terrific. And I believe we have a Studebaker.
Yes, we do indeed. A red Studebaker in very fine shape.
Indeed.
Oh, that's a beauty.
That is a beauty. Now the YMCA Lunenburg County being represented in the next float, carrying their multicolored banner.
Something you know a little about, Les?
Something I know somewhat about. You know, the great strides and changes in YMCA Lunenburg County in the last year, with the move down to the fitness center on King Street, and of course the opening of the youth center, and as always the kids program, the after school program, a very important part of YMCA work, and they're looking terrific. These Y kids, let's salute them.
And then we have the Children's Wish Foundation of Canada.
Another very worthwhile organization, and of course we're all familiar with the good work that they do with terminally ill children. And here comes the biggest teddy bear we're likely to see today.
That is a huge teddy bear.
That's something you'd want to carry around to bed.
And how did they make that T-shirt that big?
They've done a good job. the Children's Wish Foundation, and Mama Bear is driving the van.
And lots of volunteers following behind.
Indeed. Great organization doing great work, especially with terminally ill children. And they even have Superman in their parade.
Looking
Okay.
for a phone booth.
I wonder if his name is Clark Kent.
Speaking of volunteers, I should mention that this program being brought to you by the South Shore Video Group, a non-profit organization of volunteers, which has been doing this parade for many years. And
Something
is
you
very
know something about.
proud to be able to bring it to you once again for the 105th anniversary in 1996.
Right, and in cooperation, of course, with Bragg Communications. There's the Camaro going by, dressed kind of fancy-like. And right behind that, we have another of the industrial commercial floats from Crystal Clear Power Wash.
Lots of balloons on the next one. You can hardly see the name, but I think
That's
it's
right.
the Mainline Market, which is that very popular convenience store on the north end of King Street.
Right, and famous for their steaks. And the Health Services have a van in this year's parade just going by now. The Fisherman's Memorial Hospital, the South Shore Regional, bedecked with appropriate balloons.
And still more firefighting equipment.
And this is from Italy
Italy
Cross, Middlewood and District, and their fire truck and their fire trucks, we should say, making an appearance in this year's Grand Street Parade. We expect that the parade will last for about an hour to an hour and a half, and people started assembling on the parade route before 5 o'clock this afternoon.
The Ross Farm Museum is
And there's
Heading
another
into view.
well-known organization and enterprise that attracts a lot of visitors every year. And we have a guy in a
Historical-
bowler who's bowing to us. The Department of Education, of course, involved in that. The New Ross District Museum Society, part of it, and an old wagon that they're displaying. And here come some wheelchair people.
Yes, these wheelchair athletes are doing quite a job of coming up
just
that
super.
hill.
Yeah, they're not even panting, for heaven's sake. I'd be dead if I walked up there tonight. Dream Wheel 96, the Bridgewater. Okay, let me get it right. The Nova Scotia Lightning and Thunder. Okay, these are the wheelchair athletes, Jim,
Right.
that participated in the basketball tournament. Now the Lunenburg Queen Schizophrenia Society with their float, consisting primarily of people, and
And nice costumes.
nice costume.
And the Wandlin Inn.
Right.
And the LaHave River Festival, which is another thing coming up in Bridgewater September 14th on
Right.
the water.
On the water of the LaHave River, and a couple of canoes there, and you can look for that. They had a very auspicious beginning last year, and I'm sure that this year will be no exception.
Yes, I hear they're planning expanded numbers of races, dory and canoe races.
All kinds of new events.
We could go in there. There's going to be a Jack Benny canoe race for those over 39.
Right. Well, we could even put our producer Joey Mailman in that. Bob Router might go in as well, which would give us a distinct disadvantage.
Now here's the Rebecca Jane Nursery School in Blockhouse, and
Right.
they've gone to a lot of trouble with this fancy little float.
They have indeed, and they've taken a boat or a dory and converted it to a very interesting float. And the people in the float, of course, sea monsters, which is kind of interesting as well. Okay, we have a lull in the parade as we're waiting for more floats to show up. Obviously, just a bit of a delay, but nothing serious. And we want to mention that you are watching the 1996 Grand Street Parade at the South Shore Exhibition, sponsored by your hometown proud IGA stores. And this year's parade, as we've indicated earlier, expected to take just over an hour. They reached our vantage point at 6:30, about 17 minutes ago. And we are on Dufferin Street, adjacent to the judge stand, and the judges are over there. And I noticed a couple of people that I know rather well, including Gary Richards, who's the program director of Rock and Country CKBW. And they, of course, will make the final decisions on the winning floats in this year's parade. and we're still awaiting more floats coming up the hill.
Just to tell you a little about who's on the cameras today, if you see some shots that look a little bit high from way up above the exhibition grounds fence, those are being done by Chris Johnson. Bob Router is on another camera, and Ty Gravatt.
And Ty is around here somewhere. He's, I believe, shooting
from behind us.
From behind us,
and
exactly.
Joel Mailman is handling the mixing duties today.
Right.
While his wife Sandra is engaged in the parade itself.
Right, with the
part of the Lone Star Country Line Dancers.
You've got it right, and that should be interesting. Here I can now see another pipe and drum band just making their appearance by the Dawson Memorial Hospital, the old hospital as it's commonly referred to in Bridgewater, and that pipe and drum band with the drum major leading the way, and you can perhaps hear them in the distance. And as we've said before, if you're going to have a parade, you've got to have the pipes and drums.
Oh, that gets the blood rushing in people's veins along the parade route.
Where else but in New Scotland, right? Would it be so profound?
We'll try to give you a good chance to listen to the sounds of this Highland group as they approach us now.
You can hear them in the distance as they come up Dufferin Street, and again, amazingly, an incredible number of people lining the streets of Bridgewater for this parade. We would never even dare to estimate the number, but the crowds in the past have been in the plus 5,000 range. So that gives you some indication, but Dufferin Street, as was York, and I'm sure Empire, the parade route, filled with people. Now here come the pipes and drums. Let's listen in. Familiar tune, Farewell to Nova Scotia. The Heather Bell Girls Pipe Drum Band from Pictou, Nova Scotia, with Farewell to Nova Scotia.
Les said so, but I don't know if you heard that. The Heather Bell Pipe Band from Pictou, Nova Scotia.
Exactly.
A lot of noise here. And here from Pictou, Nova Scotia, the Ship Hector Foundation.
And
complete reconstruction of the Hector is underway in Pictou.
Exactly. And all of the people in the boat, of course, in period costume, which adds just a little more. Here's the Liverpool Fire Department from Queens County represented. And, of course, they had their work cut out for them just a couple of weeks ago with that unfortunate fire at the Canadian Tire store in Liverpool. And they did a tremendous job. 7 fire departments involved in that. And
there's Liverpool's Honorary Firefighters Club.
And I would think you'd have to be over 25 to qualify for that.
I think so. This is another Jack Benny organization.
You're right. And next, the fire department from Wildville with their fire truck. You know, it's absolutely amazing, Jim, the number of volunteer fire departments in Lunenburg and Queens County.
It's wonderful, and it's also great that they're interconnected and they can call on one another's services so easily with all the modern technology today.
Right, and as I mentioned a little while ago, you know, when they had that unfortunate fire in Liverpool, 7 fire departments from Lunenburg and Queens County helping out the volunteer firefighters in Liverpool, which speaks volumes for the kind of support that they have within their own organization and the kind of support they get from the community at large, and they deserve every bit of it.
Oh, they sure do. Just imagine what it would cost to pay departments like that.
Exactly. Okay, National Sea and Highliner, the next float that we see, and
they always do a pretty elaborate entry.
Don't they just? And this year they've got an ideal summertime float with the barbecue on the back, and great idea. National Sea, of course, located with their main plant in Lunenburg.
And here comes the Comfort Inn which is advertising its clean, comfortable, affordable accommodation.
Right. And of course, they're located in Bridgewater as well. And the ladies displaying the balloons, and right behind is the float, bed already made. Folks from the Comfort Inn with their float, and great idea. They've got a playpen, they've got the sofa, and of course the bed made.
Now here comes a float from the South Shore Regional Library, which operates a program in the summertime as a competition among children to see who can read the most books. And
Right.
Discover a treasure is the theme of this year's Books a Real Treasure is the theme of this year's competition.
All right, and they've chosen a pirate type of float, and they've done an excellent job with it. They have the skull and crossbones there, and the next commercial float is Auto Plus with the tractor, and it's going to be interesting as it moves past. They've got a computer on their float this year, which indicates the technology of the age and how far we've really come.
Now here comes another group of line dancers.
Right.
This is the Country Spirit line dancing group.
From the South Shore, and they're bedecked in their burgundy and black and looking sharp as they walk by our location. And of course, they have some of their young line dancers with them as well. Now Harold Wombolt with his van, another of the commercial floats that we see. And right behind that, we have Vino's Chainsaw, and of course, they've got the snowmobiles. Look at the big ones.
Pretty flashy units. Those are.
Yeah, 97 models on display, and they'll take you tripping through the snow.
All we have to get for those less is a good muffler.
And I'm sure they're working on it somewhere.
Somebody is.
As we speak. Okay, Vino's Chainsaws again with some of the equipment that they offer for sale. And they've got the all-terrain vehicle there. And I don't know if they're selling the motorcycle or not, but sure looks good from here.
And they have multiple floats, Vino's Chainsaw and equipment.
Well, that's 4 of them.
Yeah.
And there's a wood splitter that would come in handy anytime with a bunch of chainsaws that...
and a saw unit.
Right. And even an old-fashioned axe. By gosh, they've forgotten nothing. Ali Vino and Sons, well drilling from Bridgewater. And they're coming by with...
Forestry, farming, and water, they say, partners through the years. Of course, the theme of the exhibition parade and the exhibition itself this year is the partnership between forestry and farming in the county of Lunenburg.
Right. Now the Conqueror Bank Fire Department, and they have a boat on, a guy complete with a sou'wester. Boy, that'll warm the cockles of any Newfoundlander's heart.
That's a terrific little float.
Hey, that is really great. Creative and different, and love the sou'wester. Here's Scottsburn moving past our location. Scottsburn Dairy, of course, with all of their products, and they have their cow, Daisy, in there. And let's move on safety is the theme of that particular float.
Chester Basin has a beautiful Volvo fire truck representing its fire department. And utility vehicle.
From Oak Hill Fire Department, another of the many fire departments represented in the 1996 Grand Street Parade, sponsored by IGA Stores. And here comes another pipe and drum band, and let's listen into them. They're doing the very familiar Scottish Soldier. This is the Cayley Band from New Glasgow. And the Shriners make their appearance. The South Shore Shrine Club, Philae Temple, and they are...
With their fezzes and their flags and their insignia.
Yeah, I was counting the flags, Jim. It took my breath away to see all that. And they're the famed Shriner scooters. And what would a parade be without them? We're likely to get a demo. You made it up the hill. Indeed you did. Okay. The South Shore Shrine Club and the Shriners in the dory, of course. And I'm glad they're not trying to row that thing.
And here's those wonderful mini motorcycles.
Yeah, they're wonderful things, all the flags on them. And these gentlemen do a wonderful job manipulating them through parades and entertaining the kids. And we finally got a couple of clowns going by from the Shriners, and they're doing their thing. Thank you, sir. You did a great job. And the mini motorcycle is doing some wheelies down there, Jim.
Yeah.
Here they come, right at our table.
They say you can get a lot of mileage out of that little gas tank.
I would think you would.
You could carry one of those motorcycles in a backpack.
Yeah, wouldn't be too difficult. And here comes the famous Shriners Paddy Wagon. I wondered when they were going to get that horn going.
And I wonder if they have some dignitary in that paddy
They
wagon.
may very well. The Keystone Cops, of course, and the Paddy Wagon, and somebody dressed as a convict right behind them with the ball and chain. And there they go. And hey! I almost got binged by the ball there. And here are more of the mini motorcycles coming by. Almost had a collision.
And the Shriners
They
have
got
still
so
more
excited by
entries.
the television coverage. That's what did it.
They have still more entries coming down the road, up the road, up the top of Dufferin Hill, where we're located just before the entrance to the exhibition grounds.
And more of the Shriners on the float with a huge Shriner looking down on the 10 or 12 guys who are on that float. This is the director's staff. We call them Sir.
That's an animated balloon.
Yeah, that's what it is, a very animated balloon. And some guys who are full of hot air also on, on
They
the
heard
float.
that.
I know. I wanted them to hear it. Okay. There they are going by, and here come the motor cars and the mini motorcycles up the hill, and Fred Flintstone is coming with his...
Oh, look at what they have.
Here's Freddie.
This is a new entry.
This is a new entry. Western Valley Shriners and Fred Flintstone. Okay. Great idea. Simple float, but very, very effective. And now we're getting the mini motorcycles doing the routine. We knew that would happen before this parade was over. As they start doing the intricate movements. Why they don't put them in the tattoo, I'll never know.
I wondered what they had before steamrollers.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but they sure have put on a show here, as they do every year, the Shriners and their mini bikes. And that particular one with Fred Flintstone driving. Just a great idea. Philae Temple from the Shriners, and putting on a
many
great show.
clubs, the Eastern Valley Club and others represented here coming in for the parade.
Yes, so that's at least 3 shrine clubs that I've counted, Jim, that are represented here this year. And they're doing their thing, and somebody recognizes
There's someone
me,
who
of course.
knows less.
Yep. You can holler at me anytime. The Western Valley Shrine Club. And it's one of the advantages of having friends, Jim, all around the province.
Yes, indeed.
You get to see a lot of them on a day like this. And there they go.
Motor cars, and then, of course, a trailer which is used to haul some of this equipment around the province.
And I wonder how many of those cars they can put in that trailer. That'd be an interesting question for them.
I wonder. I presume they can all get in there, but I don't know how.
From the Halifax Shrine Club, here comes the Jolly Trolley. And
that's a great one.
That's an old trolley car, and I remember when I came to Nova Scotia first, they still had the trolleys in Halifax.
Yeah, and the tracks.
That's right. And it was great to see. It really was. Great to ride, too. Now we've got some country entertainment coming in our next float, and I don't know if it's country or Hawaiian. It's difficult to say from
maybe it's a crossover
what we're hearing.
group.
For sure.
This is Calvin's TV of Marriott's Cove.
Okay.
And they not only represent entertainment, they're providing something.
You've got it.
The length of the parade route hasn't dulled them at all.
Now we have lifeguards. And they're doing some old-fashioned rock and roll there in the background from Calvin's.
Yeah, lifeguards from the swimming pool programs of the summer.
Right.
Bridgewater Parks and Recreation.
Indeed. With the water guns, and
oh, they
you
got
knew
us.
we were going to get a shot. Okay, there they go. And
nice to be cooled down a little.
Hey, yeah. And they've got a Sea-Doo on the back. And just a couple of weeks ago, Barry Smith, who's the sales manager at CKBW, took me out on a Sea-Doo. And I'll tell you, it was an experience that I won't soon forget. Knights of Columbus going by with their float with very colorful red and white.
Now we have a pretty red Mustang coming up here with
right, 69.
The Waterman sign on the side.
Right.
Water conditioning. Important service.
And the convertible, which, of course, the Firebird convertible and convertibles in general have made a comeback in the last few years. As we get the wave and the Waterman in their van, and next to them, George Young Fuels, one of the large commercial organizations in Lunenburg County.
George F. Young faithfully every year polishes up his equipment to put it in this parade.
He does indeed. And George, of course, does a wonderful job with the community as well, very involved in a number of organizations and supports them. So there you have.
Looks like they got a tiger in that gas tank.
They got a tiger in the tank there. You want to believe. Part of the Esso promotion, of course. Imperial Oil.
Trust us to keep you warm.
Indeed. And of course, we remember Imperial Oil is the sponsors of Hockey Night in Canada when Foster Hewitt called the play from the gondola in Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. There's George sitting in the truck.
Yeah.
And taking in the crowd and enjoying the crowd.
You'll be bright. We're not lions, says that ox pun.
Well, you can expect anything when it comes to some of these puns. Good representation here from George F. Young Fuels, the Esso dealer along the South Shore, and that big tanker with the flags flying coming up the hill.
Spit and polish, isn't it?
Isn't that just shine to perfection as people watch the parade. And what's interesting about the crowds I've noticed, Jim, over the years in the parade is that they're not passive at all. They become very much involved. And
oh, yeah, there's applause and catcalls and all kinds of involvement.
All kinds of activity. And, of course, that means that the people who line the parade route, the spectators, are very much involved. We're waiting for a minute or two while they make their turn now into the exhibition grounds, which is where, of course, the parade terminates. And they go by the judging stand, which is...
you know, by the time this year that the parade reaches here, it's almost made a complete circle.
It has indeed, because...
So if people had just shouted loud enough for an encore, they could have gone right back around.
Right, or they could have come over if they started on Empire Street, walked a couple of blocks...
And been here with a lot less trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And they could have...
a lot of disappointed people.
Right, to catch a second view of the parade.
Well, changing a parade route is a tricky thing. I wonder how many people were waiting initially on King Street today.
I'm sure they were. But of course this year it went down Empire, across York, and up Dufferin, which is a change, as Jim has indicated, from previous years. Now, we have the Bargain Basement Shoes and their parade and their float, and Woods Wise Outfitters is the company, with all kinds of hunting equipment available, And you just heard, oh, there's
And
the,
there are people outfitted
yeah,
appropriately and with a mascot to boot.
right. Well, or a protective dog, whichever way you want to look
We
at it.
shouldn't boot the dogs.
The New Germany Volunteer Fire Department making their appearance in this year's parade. And there goes their pumper, huge fire truck.
One time, someone phoned Bragg Communications to say that there weren't enough fire trucks in the parade that year. I don't think they can say that this
No,
year.
not this year. We've had a large number of them representing the various volunteer fire departments in Lunenburg and Queens County. And the folks from New Germany putting theirs in. There go the horns as Lunenburg makes its appearance.
And Lunenburg has a distinctive yellow instead of the standard red.
And of course, they also have a new fire hall.
Yes, don't they?
Very beautiful
That's
new
a lovely
fire
one.
hall in Lunenburg. And Pumper 83 goes by, the yellow from the town of Lunenburg, and there's an antique, the old fire truck that dates back somewhere in the 1930s, if my memory is correct.
And still just putting along beautifully.
Going along just fine, thank you very much. Dodge Brothers. And that kind of dates it itself. And then we have, of course, the Army truck right behind them. And representatives of the militia making their appearance in this year's Grand Street Parade.
I must say that styles in military vehicles haven't changed very
Not
much.
appreciably in the last 40 years. And of course, not much reason for them to change. Here's the Bridgewater
Electrolysis clinic.
Electrolysis
yeah.
Club. Yeah, thank you, with a Trans Am convertible. Something that you'd get a kick out of driving, Jim.
Yes. My wife would kick me.
I didn't say who would. But they've made their appearance, and we've got others. And obviously the parade has filled the gap that we had a little while ago, because now, as far as you can see, down Dufferin Street, there are floats coming up Dufferin Hill.
Lots of entries this year.
Indeed, large number of entries. And the one going by us, a dance team, and it's the Ropers dance team.
Yeah, and they're
And there's the Wabash Cannonball, and there are the dancers.
and they're clogging to
They're
it.
clogging. Listen to those shoes. Thank you. The lady comes by and does a little tap dancing for us there.
Special demonstration. There's Hughley's auto body going.
Right. Right, without a body attached, which is a good sign.
Yes.
Okay.
South Shore Ready Mix Limited.
Putting in their appearance this year. And they've been around for a while and have been in a lot of parades in the last little while.
They got beaten out in the teddy bear contest.
Yes, they did indeed. They certainly did.
Here's the Friends of Fitness.
They're making their
CKBW.
appearance, step class, and they're meeting at the Michelin Social Club, and very fit people going by us here, bedecked in their workout clothes, and looking terrific.
Now we have a transportation float here. Who's this representing? People with disability.
Okay, the disability people in wheelchairs.
Action Council 4.
Right. David's hairstylist, of course, on Dufferin Street, place that I know very well. They try to work with what little hair I have. Thank you very much. You do a good job, Rose.
And here's Speedy Auto Glasses for your eyes.
Okay, there you are. Doing a... We're getting a lot of comments from
From
the parade. Of
parade
course,
itself, yeah.
having had the
You were
good fortune
talking
of...
about involvement.
Right, and knowing a lot of the people who are driving there. There's a guy with a water gun, and why do I know I'm going to get it, okay? Bigfoot's taxi, complete with the water gun for... You missed. He won't miss this time. Okay, there's the Farmer's Special Event van being driven by the cow.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
of course.
Good idea.
A contented cow.
Very contented. Very comfortable in the van.
There's Crown Tire Service.
Crown Tire making their appearance with their van polished to the nth degree. Gifts and supplies That's
Heart to Heart Crafts.
Heart to Heart Crafts on
King
King
Street.
Street in Bridgewater in a very spiffy car and doing their thing.
And then the Riverport and District Fire Department.
Right.
There you go.
I think we've had pretty well all of the fire departments in Lunenburg and Queens County represented in today's parade. As well we should, as Riverport goes by with their van.
And here's Western Shore District Fire Department Emergency Unit.
Right. And when you think of the work that they do, Jim, that's not associated with fires, that's important to remember as well, because these emergency units respond to automobile accidents, any kind of emergency. They're there to help out. And it's no longer just a firefighting unit. It's a complete emergency unit that these people run.
Yes, and they deserve the applause and thanks of everyone.
They do indeed. So there you are, the Western Shore Fire Department. And this firefighter 95, Lorraine Young, sitting atop the truck
And
with
the
her first princess. Yes.
Anna King.
You got it. And here's the Progressive Conservative Party, Lou Senta, who's going to run for the Tories. Mike Baker is also running this year, or whenever the Premier decides to call the election. Gentlemen are already campaigning.
Yes.
Going to make it very interesting whenever that comes.
There's
Now,
Bonnie.
Bonnie Lee Farm, one of the great organizations in Lunenburg County, located, of course, in Chester, and the terrific work that they do really doesn't need a lot of comment from either of us.
They do, I should mention, have a wonderful plant exchange in the spring for you gardeners. And
Right.
you pick up some wonderful items there.
Yes, indeed. And here are the Bridgewater Kinsmen making their appearance, serving our community for 50 years. The Kinsmen, of course, one of the many service clubs in the area, and they've got, well, they're doing giveaways. They're doing some candy, I believe. They're handing out.
Following the rules. That
Following
you can't
the rules.
Do that from the vehicles.
No,
You
but
to
they have people
going on.
walking, Kinsmen walking. There they are, and we get a candy.
Oh,
Hey,
terrific.
I must be better looking. I got a candy you didn't.
Well, you eat the first half.
Okay. The Kinsmen passing out candy to the spectators and having a great time. Here,
Derek Wells.
Derek
now,
Wells
and
and Don Down.
Don Down.
The Liberals. We've had the Tories, now we have the Liberals. They're already there. And the politicians making their appearance in the Grand Street Parade.
Moliga Tours has
Right.
a beautiful looking van here.
Indeed they do.
Moliga
And,
Adventure Camp in Bridgewater.
Oh, yes. Maritime journeys, day trips, shuttles, you name it, they've got it from Moliga. And a very sharp-looking Extendivan.
Yeah, and it's a great service to have for
Right.
when the tourists arrive, as well as lots of local people, I suppose, who want to get a group together.
Right. And next up, LaHave Equipment with some heavy equipment coming into view. And there's a guy with a front-end loader there who's, hey, he's working that thing very well. And doing his thing, giving us a wave and getting back into the parade. A lot of equipment being displayed by LaHave Equipment as they go by, and noisy equipment as well. No question. There they go. Wow, look at that thing go up. Okay. Great demonstration of
This is something you don't see in every year's parade.
That's
this
right.
Heavy equipment.
different things, and obviously in this year, I don't know what kind of a license you have to drive one of these things. I know I don't qualify. Okay, Knockler's Auto Salvage with somewhat of a dilapidated car.
Almost too late to salvage.
Almost, but certainly makes the point rather well. And the 1996 Grand Street Parade, sponsored by your hometown proud IGA stores, continues here in Bridgewater. It's opening day of the Bridgewater exhibition, the Big X, the first agricultural show of the summer season by tradition, as a matter of fact.
And all of these agriculture and other exhibitions go on during the summer to end with the Atlantic Winter Fair in October in Halifax.
That's right.
But this one is well positioned to catch attention, being the one to lead off the season.
And has done that for many, many years.
Yes, indeed. Although I understand long ago it used to be held in the fall.
Really?
Yes. But
Your history is better than mine.
for years now, of course, it's been the July feature of Bridgewater.
All right. We have some dancers doing their things here as they come into camera range. And we'll get the name of that float in a second. Gary Roberts Music. Gary Robertson Music in Bridgewater.
You can hear the quality of their
Reggae
sound.
music. Now the next truck has a group of young people in it, obviously having, it's a nursery school, I can tell that. And the reggae in the background.
Oh, that's the Little Scholars Nursery School.
Okay, you got it. Little Scholars with a very appropriate float and some very appropriate young people in the back. And they're bedecked.
And
Now,
then the Hebville Fire Department.
Okay, Hebville. Their fire department, their pumper coming into view, and pumper and tanker.
And they have a message for us
Right.
saying smoke detectors are cheap life insurance.
Indeed they are. And following them, Big Red's Family Restaurants coming into view, and they've got a baker on the roof.
They're a franchise operation with restaurants in, over in the Minas side of the province and several other places I've seen them.
Certainly down the South Shore, very well known here in Bridgewater and Lunenburg, Hubbard's, that whole area. And they've got a new slogan, get hooked on Big Reds. And there's the pizza chef doing his thing, and here's an old Dodge, Jim.
Yeah, another great car from Byron's Auto Service in Conqueror Mills.
Takes you back a few years.
Yes, indeed. He has
Look
that
sharp.
beautifully restored.
The cool crowd from South Shore Drug Dependency, the youth support program that has been operating for close to 20 years now on the South Shore, and certainly one of the premier programs offered by Drug Dependency
Yes.
for the young people.
And Carol South Shore have donated a vehicle to carry their float.
All right. And they look terrific. They look terrific. No question. And now,
Doodles and Mexitos
Yes.
being advertised here by an Atlantic Canada proud
Humpty Dumpty
float. Humpty
going
Dumpty.
by. Brake construction and repair, the next one.
And then Hire a Student is
Right.
being promoted.
The summer employment program of Canada Employment, with their float going by and conveying the message, of course, that it makes good business sense in the summertime to hire a student. And the next float, of course, Trimline, known to decorate a few automobiles along the South Shore in the last few years.
Yes, and the last time that we bought a car, Les, my wife made the poor salesman take all the stuff on that had just been put on at great expense before she'd buy it, because she likes a plain car. So
Yeah.
she's in the minority.
Yes, as opposed to the majority these days. Mary is driving the car, the van, the Trimline van.
It's a good advertisement because it's nicely decorated. itself.
Very tastefully done, which is something that they do well. Having decorated the car that I've driven for the last 2 years.
Oh, there's a little kitty getting out
Hey,
in the
there
street.
you are.
Have to be very careful about that.
Yeah. As they go by, and they brought in the big artillery today with their Trimline trailer.
Yeah, vehicle window tinting, they're advertising.
Yes.
And then,
doing a
of
good
course,
job.
we're We're always visited by the Michelin Man and the South Shore parades.
And here he comes now.
And he's had offspring.
Yes, so it seems. A couple of them in the dory there.
And two in front of the cab.
All right. Michelin, of course, depicting a sea scene this year, which is a little different than normal.
It's saluting the year of the wooden boat.
Ah, that's what it is, of course. And they'll be a part of the Mahone Bay Wooden Boat Festival, I'm sure, which is just a couple of weeks away now.
Yes, and that's a tremendously successful festival on the South Shore, which started small and is building to be famous throughout not only Canada, but throughout North America.
Indeed, and attracts a lot of people from around the continent, which is really great. Well, we're coming up almost on the hour now as the parade continues up Dufferin Hill, and the Majorettes are making their appearance. The South Shore Blue Nose Majorettes from Lunenburg, been in existence now since 1963. That makes them 33 years old. And
is that right? Is that long?
You like that arithmetic?
Yeah. Excellent. And you don't even have your calculator.
Sometimes it works, but I wouldn't tell everybody. So the Majorettes are coming up the hill, and we should see the baton twirlers pretty soon.
Yeah, it's a long haul for some of those little tykes.
Yeah, but they are doing a good job and carrying the Canadian flag.
One thing about having the parade in the evening like this is that it avoids the terrific heat of the earlier part of the day.
Makes a lot of sense. A late evening parade, and we've had a just perfect day for it. You certainly can't argue with the weather. The temperature around 22 degrees as the parade started, and cooling off just enough to keep the folks cool who are in the parade, just the slightest bit of a breeze.
Yeah, no one looks uncomfortable at all.
No.
Among the spectators, anyway.
That's right.
Maybe a little difficult with the walking. But
well, I don't see too many people who are walking who are terribly uncomfortable this year. But they're the Majorettes, and aren't they just terrific in their sailor uniforms? And next up, the South Shore
it's the
Blue Nose Majorettes.
It's the Blue Nose pickup car for anyone who gets tired.
Right. And, of course, they have the nautical theme to that. And we get some more nautical themes now as we get one of those beautiful speedboats going by.
This is Oak Lake Sports.
Oak Lake Sports with a bayliner that could probably move a bit if you revved her up.
Oh, yes. Built for speed.
And then their second float with a Sea-Doo and a less flamboyant type of boat, a tracker aluminum boat that they're sliding by. Still pretty comfortable to be on the water in. Now we get some horses. Again. Here they come. The Waterloo 4-H Club, and we welcome them to the parade.
Nice to see the animals in the parade.
Aren't they just gorgeous animals? You are so right. And the old wagon, of course, with the 4-H'ers aboard. 4-H, a world to explore. And here comes a pretty looking horse right there.
Yeah, now dragging. That's interesting. Just prancing very well.
Yeah.
And another fire department vehicle. We being crowded a little by the spectators here. I imagine we're coming near the end of the parade.
This is Pleasantville. Pleasantville Fire Department rescue vehicle going by. And they have their bass tournament, of course, in August, and they've got a sign up there advertising that. And still, they're coming up Dufferin Hill. A long parade. We're coming up on 55 minutes that this parade has been moving, and there's obviously more to come.
Yeah, and that means, I believe, from that time that we're looking at more entries this year than in previous years.
Right. I'm not surprised because, of course, the parade got a lot of advanced publicity with the announcement that the IGA stores were going to sponsor it for a 3-year period minimum.
Yes. Yep.
And that gave people lots of confidence and reason to get a float ready for this year's parade. And I think there's another beautiful antique car coming into range. McCarthy's towing, and they have an old Thunderbird convertible that goes back to the 60s.
That's perfect.
Isn't it just immaculate? Wow.
You could make quite an impression if you pulled into Halifax or even Toronto with that.
Yes, you would indeed. What have we got? A lotto machine coming next? No, a telephone. A telephone. The cellular phone concept is coming up the hill into view right now. Another of McCarthy's towing's float. And, the idea, of course, is Crime Stoppers.
Yes.
We made sense of that.
Make an anonymous call and
Right.
report any wrongdoing you may come aware
Right.
of.
Crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers do. Okay. Or does, whichever is grammatically correct there. Now we have some beautiful flowers coming into view from Village Nursery. Beautiful display of flowers on a very tastefully decorated float. Village Nursery.
Oh, they've done a terrific job.
They have indeed.
Real flowers, too.
Real flowers is right. Nothing artificial there, except the seagull. And they've done it in a nautical motif again with the boat, and looks terrific. Now Home Hardware, their float coming into view, and they too have gone to the flowers, and of course the Home Hardware dealers throughout the various counties represented in that float.
Well, this goes well with the forestry theme.
Exactly.
See
Yeah.
the deer and the evergreens and the outdoors.
Right, and of course Lunenburg County being the forestry capital of Canada makes a lot of sense. Neutralon coming into view with their float.
Ecology-friendly lawn care, that is catching on.
Yep, it certainly is. And we've become more and more concerned about the environment with the passing years, and certainly justly so.
In-town couriers.
Right.
It's a relatively new service here.
New to the area, but certainly something that obviously was needed. These folks are in with their van, and they're publicizing the fact that they're a business in the area to be reckoned with. Andy's Tire next, and a variety of tires on the back of that particular truck.
And then I think we have some young gymnasts.
We do, and I'm trying to catch the name as they get close to us, and we're likely to see that, okay, it's the Dynamo. Yes, the Dynamo Gym Club. And the youngsters, there's a couple of them doing some somersaults, handstands, and of course with the Olympic Games on.
Oh, you can bet they've been watching Atlanta.
They've been watching Atlanta, and the various gymnastics that have been taking place, and of course we've all been watching it, and thrilling to Canadians winning a couple of bronze medals, one in the pool and one in the road race.
And of course it's organizations like this that give the opportunity for young athletes to see whether they want to pursue the career that far.
Yeah, and many of them do. I was watching one of the young gymnasts from the United States in the opening day coverage, and incredible flexibility. Just makes me scared.
But they're beautiful to watch.
Oh, indeed. Dynamo's in action, and they're doing a great job, and other kids are doing handstands and somersaults coming up the hill. How they can maintain that kind of energy at this hour of the day is something to really wonder about, but they do such a fine job. Here they go, high in the air. You can see them from our vantage point as they go up and over, and
they're putting on quite a demonstration.
They certainly are. The Dynamo's Gym Club with the second float that they have, and I think they were operating with a trampoline, and that was the reason they were getting that kind of height that we were able to see from our South Shore Video Group cameras. Excellent. As they move on up the hill, and the parade continues. For 1996, the Grand Street Parade, part of the South Shore exhibition, always, of course, on opening day, the highlight of opening day, and sponsored this year, and will be for the next couple of years, by your hometown proud IGA stores. And they're the Dynamo Club, and some of these kids are still doing a number. And
all polka dotted and
all polka dotted, yes. Very interesting. As they give us a demonstration of their skills and do some flips there.
And tumbling on that pavement can't be so easy on the hands.
No, I would think that it would bother you just a wee bit. They're doing a good job. And, of course, Chris Johnson is getting some great shots of that kind of activity from his eye in the sky camera, which is...
he could do a great tumble from up there.
Yeah, he could, yes. I wonder if he'd land on his feet, though. That's the only thing that would concern me. It wouldn't hurt him if he landed on his head, but his feet might be a problem. Okay.
There we go now with Confederation
Walk Homes, yes.
Showing details of the construction method.
Right, and the Imperial Hell Drivers with their neons.
And they'll be appearing.
They'll be appearing in the... Yes. Look at this. They're running pretty
would you
close
call that
there.
Tailgating?
That would certainly constitute tailgating for me. They seem to be in somewhat control, though, a little more than perhaps you and I would have, Jim.
Yeah.
And Crash Moreau of the Hell Drivers, Toby Thibodeau. Here they go. I wonder how long the engines last.
Yes.
All right, we have the Valley Farm equipment from Lawrencetown down in the beautiful Annapolis Valley.
Entry.
And, 4-H entry.
World to explore.
Right, Lucky Clover 4-H club represented there.
And of course, 4-H is a major part of this South Shore exhibition.
Always is, and Tuesday is 4-H day, and there will be all kinds of activity going on. Now, famous people of Queens, Carol Baker, the country music singer, Thomas Radal, of course, the world-renowned author and historian, Tiger Terrence Warrington, the boxer, all representing Queens County as they put their float in. They've always come up with an interesting idea for a float.
They do, yes.
Here's another of those antique cars that just want to make you salivate. This one, of course, from Brown's Auto Salvage, and that one is doctored just a bit.
Is it ever?
Whoa. It looks like a Chevy or a... I didn't catch... Yeah, it's either a... it's a Chevy, as I thought it was. And now we have the Kippers doing their thing, the Gymnastics Club, of course, in Bridgewater. And here they come, carrying some of their members and displaying some of their skills. The Kippers doing their thing.
Yeah, the Kippers are in every year, and they do a wonderful display as they go along the route.
They do indeed. Here they do, doing handstands, and bedecked in their nice red and white costumes. Kippers Gymnastics. And now we have the Strutters from New Germany, Lunenburg County. And they're twirling the batons, doing their thing as they go by.
Nice blue and white outfits.
Indeed, very colorful. And there's been a lot of color in this year's parade.
It looks to me, Les, yes, whether it's the temperature or the changed route or both, but some of the young marchers seem to be having an easier time than they used to.
Indeed. Indeed they do. And maybe it's a combination of both.
Right.
Because it certainly has been, as we've mentioned a couple of times, an ideal day. Now here comes Search and Rescue, and there's another group that does a wonderful job. Queens County Search and Rescue and their auxiliary. And, of course, these ladies and gentlemen make a very sizable contribution to the community.
No, there's an idea. He's videotaping from the float,
right,
catching the spectators.
Yeah, different perspective. Lunenburg County Ground Search and Rescue going by, and some of these people volunteer innumerable numbers of hours when the need arises.
Oh, yes, usually under really difficult conditions.
Exactly, always very trying conditions.
And the big orange transport bus, immediately recognizable.
And of course, it's equipped with all kinds of necessary equipment for search and rescue. VNS making their appearance, the department store, from Middleton and
Bridgetown.
in the Annapolis Valley. Feather your nest with VS, and a good float. Creative idea. With the wings moving on the bird, of course. Another big monster truck coming into view now.
And it is pulling a really large
Very
display.
large float, and it'll be interesting to see. This is the Bridgewater Interchurch Council, of course, providing the food bank and the ministerial services that are a part of the religious life of the people in the Bridgewater area. And there's our friend Jerry Conrad on the float, looking dapper as always. And schools and families, Meals on Wheels, food bank, and of course friendly visitation. All of the services offered by the people from the Lunenburg.
All displayed
Society.
on a wonderful high board.
Yes. Now then, we're into the
Backhoe and plowing is pulling this float. That's
Stands back home plowing service, and they've got a western motif that they're showing off.
Yeah, and they've done it very well.
Great.
Complete
Yeah, and
with saddles.
here's a great one. Town Flowers are coming. Look at this little car and how they've decorated that. This is really interesting.
And not only that, they had flowers left over, which they're passing out to the crowd.
That's right.
You may get a flower, Les, to go with your candy.
You never know. I can get
They'll
a
be
flower
all
with
set
my
for the
candy.
evening.
I'll call it a good evening. You got that right. And there they are, handing out flowers from the car, but good float, very good float from Town Flowers on King Street in Bridgewater. Just well done. Good float. And using, again, natural flowers and getting the message across.
And then Cantel Communications.
A calling crew are in, and coming behind them on a large truck, we have the Mahone Bay Legion Band.
Right you are.
Let's listen in. They stopped
they
playing
just
just as we were going to give them a listen. A truck provided by Nova Scotia Building Supplies, the Mahone Bay Legion Band.
And they're an enthusiastic little band that plays mainly. They have a new bandstand in Mahone Bay that we're able to use.
Yes, that gazebo and bandstand.
Beautiful, right on the waterfront.
Right on the waterfront is right. And of course, the way they put it together drew a lot of attention from the media right across the province.
And they're going to be followed by the West Northfield Twirlettes.
Okay, another
Baton
Majorette band.
twirling group. Yep.
And they're coming into view. And folks are getting a look at their beautiful red and white costumes as they go by. With the pom-poms and the batons, of course. They're making their appearance.
I think there may be a little backup of traffic as they try to put so much material into the exhibition grounds.
Yeah,
now with all
exactly,
this
because
trade.
of the size. Here goes the band. That's the Mahone Bay Legion Band as they make their turn into the exhibition grounds, and the West Northfield Twirlettes behind them. And then we have the convertible with some beauty queens here.
This is the Queen of the Sea. This will be from Lunenburg.
Of course, the fisheries exhibition in Lunenburg.
It'll be the current year's reigning queen. They'll establish
Right.
a new queen this fall at their
Fisheries
annual-
exhibition, another of the big events along the South Shore during the season. And that's followed by the Bridgewater Daycare. And they're going by, and there goes Billy Brown, famed man of Bridgewater, giving us a wave as one of the spectators. Bridgewater Daycare with a very interesting float. And again, young people making up a lot of that particular float, which of course is in keeping with what they do.
And they're all in matching yellow T-shirts.
Yes. Colorful, very colorful. Well, Jim, we're about an hour and 10 minutes in, and this has been a very interesting parade, and certainly longer than we've seen in the last couple of years, I believe.
Yes, indeed. The parade is certainly coming back to life.
And McKay's Pharmacy is next up, and they're showing off some specialty medical supplies that they sell. And, of course, they've become well known for their medical equipment that they're offering.
Products, geriatric products
Yes.
and services, and all kinds of aids and helps for people who are partially or fully disabled.
Right.
Walkers, canes, wheelchairs, crutches.
They have them all there, and of course they have the specialty equipment for the bath and all that kind of thing. Culligan water conditioners are next.
I told you this parade might go around twice. Didn't we have
and
Culligan before?
I believe we have gone around twice. But there are a lot of them. Now, the next van is very interesting. As we go past the Culligan bottled water people, they are going by and handing out some water to the folks, bottled drinking water, and the float behind them is most colorful, and
oh, lots of sunflowers all over.
they're the
this float.
sunflowers, yes.
And that's A&R flower basket.
A&R flower basket, I should have recognized.
From Bridgewater.
Annette and her crew have done a great job. There's Annette driving the van.
Bit of
and,
new mown hay.
Doing a great job, great float, most colorful. And you know you're going to get some comment from these people, and they're great folks, the folks at A&R Flower Basket. Here come Calvin Snyder's floats, and of course the Sea-Doo, the Tiger Shark, that can really fly over the water. And Hair Fantasy is the next one.
Oh, this is the computerized imaging system where you can see what your hair is going to look like before someone makes the mistake of cutting it.
That's right. Yeah, they'd never improve on mine, but they're welcome to try. All right, and next up is Novus, the windshield doctor, of course, and they have their equipment on display. The First Choice Haircuts have a float coming up, and they're making their appearance with a very spiffy car and black and white trim.
Now, sensing that we're moving toward the end of the parade, a lot of spectators are moving up and down the street.
Yeah, I believe we are.
It's a good thing we have that overhead camera, I imagine, to be able to see what's going on. Because,
right. And the last float in the parade belonging to Rockin' Country CKBW. This is their summer cruiser, of course. And young Jonathan Krause is driving it. And
I think CKBW's Rockin' Country radio entry represents the final one in this 1996 edition of the Bridgewater Exhibition Parade.
And most appropriate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a most interesting parade that went an hour and 15 minutes. Some great floats and some great creativity. And we hope you've enjoyed it. We've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. The South Shore Video Group and Bray Communications. And we know that, as always, the parade garners a lot of interest, Jim, and certainly this year, an incredible number of spectators.
Oh, absolutely wonderful. A great success, and it's been a great pleasure to work it with you, Les.
Thank you, Jim. My pleasure to have you along, and we thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning us in and for enjoying the Grand Street Parade 1996 of the South Shore Exhibition, sponsored by your hometown proud IGA stores. On behalf of the South Shore Video Group and Bray Communications, Les Stoodley of Rockin' Country CKBW. Bye-bye for now.